Então, fala galera, beleza? Vamos aqui para mais um vídeo onde tivemos, galera, Brasil e Tunísia, né? O Brasil empata com a Tunísia por 1-1. Jogo ali que poderia ter sido bom para o Brasil, poderia ter vencido se não fosse o pênalti perdido. Mas tivemos aí a boa atuação, excelente atuação do Estevão, né? Que por pouco ali ele não decide se ele bate o pênalti, tá indo muito bem. A gente vai ver aqui agora, galera, a mídia inglesa falando sobre o momento do Brasil e também rasgando seda para o Estevão. Eles estão acreditando aí que o Estevão deve ser a próxima estrela do Brasil, né? Estrela mundial para ser melhor do mundo e muito mais. Você vai ver o que eles falaram tanto do jogo do Brasil e também do Estevão como sendo um cara que está atraindo a atenção de boa parte da mídia mundial, né? Tá todo mundo com os olhos fixos nesse jogador que está com certeza entregando muito pelo seu clube e pela seleção brasileira. Vídeo legendado, certo? Se inscreve aí, ativa o sino, deixa o like. Vamos agora acompanhar o que a mídia inglesa falou sobre Brasil e Estevão.
Under Carlo Ancelotti, the 4 wins, the 3 draws, and the 1 defeat in his time in charge. And just in the overall, they really failed to impress. They don't look like Brazil. Capital B, Brazil, with Ancelotti in charge, who really have not done for quite a long time since Chichi was in charge and got them to qualify for the World Cup in 2022. They just haven't quite looked the same ever since. Ian, what do you feel like is wrong with this national side at the moment?
Oh, what's wrong with them? Wow. I mean, listen, the players necessarily, when you look at Brazil going into a World Cup, you would always tend to lean on the world superstars. Who is actually the world superstar in this Brazilian team right now? I'm leaning more to being ESTEVÃO being the best player in this group than anyone else.
He's 18.
And that's probably who you need to sort of buy into going into this major tournament. Listen, they're an excellent, obviously, nation and great history when it comes to World Cup. They don't make my top 10. I don't care what anyone says.
You have Japan and Ecuador and Norway above Brazil?
Yeah.
To go and win this World Cup.
They don't entertain me enough. They don't have enough superstars in this group to be the Brazil of past major tournaments.
The United States?
I do find it very difficult when it comes to major tournaments betting against Brazil because they always have this tendency to figure it out. In a major tournament, they'll step it up. But Ancelotti's not necessarily impressed me, and he has a group of players there that are far from impressive when it comes to performance. I mean, you can never ever doubt the heart and the passion. The Brazilians always have that, and they always seem to give effort as well. But this actual group as a unit, as individuals, it's far from impressive for me. And I think there's many talk about Neymar coming back into this group. I honestly think it would be worse if you threw Neymar into this group. But maybe they need that type of experience right now. Maybe they need some sort of boost because ESTEVÃO is the one that I'm building this team around. Vinicius Jr had a decent game, but obviously I want to see more from this Brazilian national team. They're far from impressive right now.
Well, for more on that, let's bring in our Brazilian football expert, Mbizo Umzimani. I saw him nodding in the background, particularly at your Neymar comment. But Mbizo, a draw against Tunisia. Now, I will say they qualified impressively out of Africa. They played very well in qualifying, but still, this is not a result that Brazil would have wanted going into the next year.
Yeah, absolutely. Before I speak about Brazil's disappointment, you're absolutely right. The one thing that any African will tell you about Tunisia is that they're always a difficult team to play against, always disciplined, defend well. And obviously, as you guys mentioned, they qualified for the World Cup with absolute ease. So this is a decent team. But again, Brazil, uninspiring. For me, in the final third, they seriously lack composure and a cutting edge, and they don't seem to be cohesive in that final third. They did create chances, but they just weren't able to capitalize on them. And again, against Senegal, I didn't think they were spectacular. Senegal played poorly, and Tunisia did not. And so when a team is able to match them for their intensity, for their structure, and their ability to win the ball back, which, funny enough, is not Brazilian, but it's the way that they have been playing, they just look extremely beatable. And I think teams with more talent, more attacking talent than Tunisia will really put them under pressure. It was extremely disappointing performance from them again.
ESTEVÁO with another excellent performance, obviously got his goal, very composed penalty kick. It looked to me like he was about to take a lap around the corner flag before he actually took the penalty kick, but it was very convincing and composed. This kid's impressed me. 5 starts, 5 goals. He's had 11 appearances now for the national team. The experience is starting to get better and better. But as far as I'm concerned, he might be the guy that you've got to go into a major tournament betting on. He might need to be the game winner. He might need to be the one that is the number 10 for this team because he's the one who's playing the best football right now.
I think there's absolutely no question in the world that he is Brazil's best attacking threat. As you mentioned, the statistics there. For his age, 5 goals and 5 starts is superb. It's extremely impressive. And I thought they put a little bit of pressure on him for the penalty. I was surprised that in a team with Vinicius, Rodrigo, and Casemiro, that they gave it to the young man. And he showed that that was absolutely the right decision. I mean, for me, a world-class penalty, so much confidence and just extremely deliberate. Wonderful, wonderful. I'm not sure what that says about Brazil. Do they perhaps lack the leadership? I mean, for me, a player like Vinicius Jr. should be taking that. A player like Rodrigo should be taking that. One of your senior attacking players. But again, like you said, this boy seems like he has the golden ticket and he's producing all the magic. For me, we actually took too long to get him into that starting lineup. For me, when he was at Palmeiras already, he was demonstrating that he should be starting, especially as the national team was already kind of struggling at the time. And I think the one thing Brazil needs to avoid in general is putting players in the national team only when they play for a big-time European club or when they move to the Premier League, because we could have him so much more experienced by now from the time he was playing at Palmeiras, but we waited until he got to Chelsea. But no matter, the boy is playing, I think, next-level football, and he's showing the older guys in the team how it really should be done at this level.
But Abizo, I guess my question would be on ESTEVÃO, for as good as he's playing right now and as good as he's played for Chelsea, is there not a worry that, even going back to Vitor Roque and Entre and when Vini Jr. first came through the team, you're putting a lot of pressure on 18-year-olds to deliver the World Cup for the team? I know Lamine Yamal was a key part of Spain going and winning the Euros, but that is very much the exception rather than the rule. Is there not a concern about putting too much pressure on these young players and not your Rodrigos and your Vinis and your established stars at European clubs, as you say, that should be the ones delivering for Brazil?
Yeah, absolutely. And this is my point with him even taking the penalty today. I get it. The kid's playing well. He has 5 goals and 5 starts. So I think they wanted to also continue to pump him full of confidence. But for me, that penalty should have been taken by Vinicius Jr. or Rodrigo, even Casemiro at that point in time. But unfortunately, you saw what happens when they give it to somebody else. Lucas Paquetá, who I've complained about time and time again, he should not be playing for the Seleção. But anyway, he took the penalty and he missed. So we're at a juncture where we just don't know if anybody else is capable of producing the kind of performances he has produced. But absolutely, he should be, held with kid gloves and sort of we should walk on eggshells, around the kid, because too much pressure can break his back. He should not be the one that should be carrying a great nation like Brazil. If we were a smaller nation, lesser expectations, then perhaps it's okay. But to put the hopes and dreams of this nation on his shoulders, I think it's too much too soon, and it should be a collective effort, and we shouldn't put ourselves in a position where if he disappoints, now all of a sudden we turn our back on him and say, well, he's also not good enough. So it's a precarious position. I think he's just so talented that he's our only source of hope at this current juncture in time, but we absolutely should be careful.
Mbizo, every single day I continuously get messages through my social media about a subject that is, I'm sure, pretty close to the hearts of many Brazilian fans going into major tournament, and that is Neymar. His name continuously comes up. I made a comment maybe about 5 months ago saying that I didn't think Neymar would help this group. I think Neymar needs to focus on his own performance and his own happiness and his own mental health right now at Santos, and obviously trying to make sure he brings top-class performance before he even has a chance of getting back into this national team. Am I wrong in saying that Neymar's not the right fit for this group, that they should actually go to the World Cup without Neymar?
No, you're absolutely spot on. And for me, if I can inject just a slight bit of disrespect, for me, he's been retired for 2 years. This is a guy who's come to Santos and he's been unable to catapult them out of the relegation zone. He moves like a player that looks like he's in pain, and he doesn't seem to have the maturity to make the decisions on the pitch that matches his physical ability. He's been sort of, yelling at his comrades, his teammates, in a fashion that's left them uncomfortable. He still hasn't really been behaving himself totally off the pitch and focusing on his professionalism to get back to top quality. So for me, I think you're absolutely spot on. I think Neymar is already a distraction for this national team, and if he is to be called up with his alongside his incapacity to contribute at the levels that he once did, he would also be a distraction at the national team, which he has been before when he hasn't been on the pitch. So for me, I think we have to move on from this Neymar era. Even if Brazil doesn't play particularly well in this upcoming World Cup, you plan for the next. you give players opportunity who could potentially be superstars or just contributing members of this squad. But I think Neymar in the team, it just wouldn't be good for the cohesion and for the building that Ancelotti is trying to do moving forward. Look, Ancelotti hasn't discounted him completely. He said that he's going to give him some time to see if he can get back up to speed. But I really think it's unrealistic, and I think that's okay. I think Neymar has served the nation with aplomb. He's one of the greatest players to ever lace up boots in this country or any other. And I think he just deserves his rest, and he should take it. I think he should be out of the national team conversation, and Brazil's priorities, conversations, and concerns should lie with the players that will be available, will be at peak condition, and are actually rearing to go. They're actually dying to perform better for this nation. It's not working out, but you can see that they're working hard. You can see that they're focused, and hopefully that determination will pay off.
E é isso aí, galera. Esse foi o vídeo, né? Vocês viram eles falando aí sobre a seleção brasileira. De fato, foi uma partida não muito boa do Brasil. O Brasil entregou muito contra Senegal, o que não aconteceu contra agora a Tunísia, né? O Brasil poderia ter vencido. Pega uma seleção que joga em transição, né? Que joga ali recuada e partindo para cima, dando pouquíssimos espaços. E o Brasil não conseguiu entregar muita coisa, né? Não conseguiu. O fato é que o Estevão conseguiu marcar gol. Esse é o ponto positivo, né? Ele com muita confiança, com muita firmeza, e ele conseguiu mostrar que o Brasil vai ter que se apoiar muito nele nos próximos anos aí, né? Pelo menos por hora a gente vê que ele é o único jogador que chegou e não sentiu a pressão, né? A gente não pode falar isso do Vinicius Jr, não pode falar isso do Rodrigo, infelizmente, que são grandes jogadores também, e alguns outros, né, que tiveram oportunidade, mas não se provaram. O Estevão com 18 anos já tem aí 5 partidas, 5 gols na era Ancelotti, então isso é muito relevante, muito relevante. Então dá para entender por que a mídia está fixando os olhos nele, porque é um jogador diferenciado. Eu arrisco a dizer que ele, nos próximos anos, aí vai conseguir, né, brigar pelo topo mundial, aí, juntamente com o Lamine Yamal, com o Haaland, com o Mbappé, com o próprio Vini também. Eu acho que ele vai ser um jogador maior, né, na minha opinião. Eu acho que ele vai ser. Claro que só o tempo que vai afirmar, mas o fato é que o Estevão está conseguindo entregar muita coisa, e esse é o ponto positivo da seleção brasileira nesse jogo, né, de ter um jogador jovem que consegue não sentir o peso, que consegue jogar muito bem, que consegue entregar, e com certeza na Copa do Mundo ele pode ser uma excelente arma aí para o Brasil vencer, quem sabe, essa Copa do Mundo. Esse foi o vídeo, tamo junto e até o próximo.